What does being a first-generation student mean to you?
Someone who wants what's best out of the college experience and does everything they can on their own to try to figure it out, because that was my individual experience.
Working twice as hard as my peers who have parents who went to college, because they already have these set connections that they can easily reach, but I don't. My parents don't, because I didn't go to college. So I have to work very hard to just get to the bare minimum, and that can be discouraging, but I see that as motivating because it just pushes me to be more ambitious in whatever field I choose to work in.
What are the challenges of being a first-generation student?
No one tells you how to do it. So like there's no roadmap. So I essentially did not have anyone in my corner to say, this is what you need to do if you need to, if you're really stressed. This is who you need to go see, this office. During finals, you're gonna have some sleepless nights, but that's normal. I thought I was going crazy, once November came and I was up all night, studying, and December came and I was up all night. There was essentially just like no roadmap.
And also just the notion of feeling like you don't know what's going on and feeling like you don't know something that everybody else knows and that your questions are stupid because you're here, so you're supposed to know all these things, and you don't want to falter because, or they'll find out that you're not really supposed to be here.
He didn't ask a lot of questions initially, which I think put me behind a little bit. I felt like there was one way to do college and there is no one right way to do college. And so I felt like if I asked questions, I was gonna stick out like a sore thumb. So I just kind of told myself, oh, I'll just figure this out on my own. But I didn't have to do that. There were a lot of people to help me and a lot of support there. And I just wish like I would have asked questions sooner.
My biggest hurdle as a first gen, I would say, is just getting accustomed to my environment, because it's my first time going away from home. So being here, it's the end of my second semester, and now I can say that I am very comfortable in my environment and I kind of found my place at AU. But when I first got here, it was just a very emotional time for me because I didn't know what I was doing. No one before me had any tips, so I had to all figure it out myself.
I mean, it was difficult regarding money coming to AU, where I don't want to assume, but having people who are at a different class than I am and where they can, go out all the time or do this, and that's how they were meeting people. I couldn't do that all the time. That's why I had to get a job freshman year, which is also crazy.
And also pressure from home. So it was, along with the not fully being prepared to navigate the campus resources and the campus life in general, because my parents hadn't done it, there was implied pressure that I somehow figure it out, and it was my responsibility to figure it out being 18 years old, 19 years old, which was ultimately why I had to transfer and became a transfer student, was because there was so much pressure to be perfect when I didn't have the resources to be perfect. There was immense pressure from that.
My mom, she always assumed that since my brother didn't go to college, I was the star child that had to do it because my grades were good enough and all this stuff.
For me, there's no option of not being successful. I can't afford to be in school all these years to rack up some student debt and not make it, as far as I want to. I need to. I know that I have this weight on my shoulders that I need to be successful and I need to accomplish a lot in order to possibly provide for my parents for everything they did for me. And that's just something that I don't want to say makes me feel guilty, but it's just something that I always have in the back of my mind, that I cannot afford to not be successful.
How did CDI help?
I didn't even know I was first gen until I came to CDI. The Common App didn't consider me a technical first gen student because my dad had some college, but I found that every common experience of a first gen student I was feeling. And that acknowledgement and that acknowledge of community helped me identify myself and to realize that I was feeling in a way that was okay.
CDI has definitely helped me in my journey as a first gen, because this past semester I was part of the Latinx dialogue session, and just being with a group of people who I grew very, very close to for a few short weeks we all had these these different topics that we were very connected on, and like for example, there were a few people in the group that were first gen that were also Latinx, and just when you feel like alone or you feel out of place, like when you're at school, you meet these people who are just like you and have been through the same struggles, so you connect and you just find your people.
We offer a lot of different things for our first gen students. We want to make sure that they have the opportunity to find community here and a home. Some of the things that we do are the first gen drop-ins. That's an opportunity for other first gens to just come in to CDI and meet each other. They can learn a little more about our office. They can learn more about other offices on campus, ways to be successful. We have our first gen newsletter as well, so a way for first gens to really connect with the campus and see what's going on. We'll also have a lot of different opportunities for workshops as well. So I know one we're going to do is around advocacy, and so making sure that you know the right questions to ask, you know what to ask, you really know how to advocate for yourself here at AU, and really take ownership of your college experience.
What advice would you give to first generation students?
What I would say to another first gen students who had just graduated high school, who's going on to college, being a part of this environment, don't wait for opportunities to come to you. You really need to go to other offices, meet faculty, immerse yourself with staff, really try to make those connections, because that's going to be most important.
Sharing my experience in those spaces and connecting my background with my education has helped me, because it's helped me see that maybe more people get it than I think, or maybe at least they're willing to try, that I have more allies than I thought I did. And I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have went to those office hours and talked to those professors about my life.
I think it's asking for help. I think it can be easy when you get here to want to look like you know what's going on, even if you don't. And I think everybody's on that journey. I think everybody's, trying to figure out what college is and what works and what doesn't work. And so it never hurts to ask. Never hurts to ask. Always ask questions.